Hey guys, welcome to Tianshi Recaps. I'm your host Tianshi. Today we're going to see a horror movie called It Feeds, a terrifying story you won't forget. Before we get into the video, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any updates. Now, let's get into it. The movie begins with Cynthia standing in the middle of an old, empty classroom, wearing a different dress. On a table, she finds a book titled The Wolf and the Boy. Inside, the name Larry is written on the first page, but every other page says wolf and help me. Suddenly, she hears Larry's voice calling for help. She follows it and finds a man sitting with two boys beside him and Larry locked in a cage. He begs Cynthia to help. She tells him that the cage is open. You're the one trapping yourself. Please try to come out. Larry tries, but the man gets angry and threatens him. A glass breaks and Cynthia's hand is cut. She calmly says, "We'll try next time," and starts chanting mantras. The man screams like a ghost. The scene then cuts to reality. It's a therapy session. The adult man is Larry and Cynthia has a power. She can enter people's past lives' memories to help them heal. Larry was abused as a child, and those traumas still haunt him. Cynthia helps by entering his mind, but any injury inside that world, like the glass cut, happens for real. After the intense session, Cynthia is resting. In another room, her daughter Jordan is speaking with Larry. He suggests that Jordan should begin training since she might also have the same ability as her mother. Just then there's a knock at the door. Jordan answers it and finds a girl named Riley soaked in rain and clearly distressed. She insists she needs to speak with Cynthia, but since Cynthia is resting, Jordan starts asking what's wrong. Jordan notices wounds on Riley's hands and asks about them, but Riley avoids the question. When Jordan asks how she found them, Riley explains that someone named Agatha gave Cynthia's address to her father, saying only Cynthia could help her. Riley begins describing a terrifying experience. She says she's been seeing a monstrous figure, something beyond human or animal, too horrifying to explain. As she talks, her face suddenly goes pale. She's frozen in fear and says that the creature is standing right behind her. At that exact moment, Cynthia senses something is wrong and steps into the room. She looks up and sees the ghostly figure standing there. She's visibly shocked. Before Cynthia can act, Riley's father bursts and grabs her and drags her away, ignoring Riley's desperate cries. She pleads that only Cynthia can help her, but he refuses to listen. After Riley is taken away, Jordan feels uneasy. Something about the girl's fear and the ghost she claimed to see doesn't sit right with her. She tells Cynthia they should help, but Cynthia refuses. She says this case is far more dangerous than the others. Cynthia admits she saw the ghost herself and reveals a painful truth. Jordan's father died while handling a similar case. She warns that some spirits are too dangerous even for them. But Jordan isn't ready to let it go. That night, she secretly searches for Agatha, the woman Riley mentioned. After finding her address, she falls asleep. In her dream, Jordan finds herself alone at home. She looks up toward the attic and calls for her dad. Suddenly, she hears the sound of someone falling and wakes up in a panic. The next day, she goes to meet Agatha, who turns out to be a friend of Cynthia's. When Jordan asks about Riley, Agatha reveals that Riley's mother died recently. She also points out the burn-like wounds on Riley's hand. When Jordan asks about them, Riley's father, Randall, claims the wounds just appeared by themselves. Agatha gave Cynthia's address to Randall, hoping she could help. Now more suspicious than ever, Jordan manages to get Randall's address and decides to confront him herself. Meanwhile, Cynthia is still shaken by her last session with Larry. She investigates further and identifies the man from Larry's memory. She discovers his name is Ferry, a coach in the school, and finds out he has abused Larry. Cynthia sends his photo to the police, urging them to investigate as he has a criminal past. At first, they brush her off, but eventually a patrol is sent out to check on Ferry, sensing that something might be wrong. Jordan goes to Randall's house, saying she came to check on Riley. But Randall tells her they can't help Riley and that he will take care of her. He warns Jordan not to interfere in his family matters. Riley is also not at home, which makes Jordan suspicious. She decides to look around the house. When Randall is not there, she sneaks in. The house looks empty, but in the basement she senses someone is there. While searching, she finds a cupboard. Inside, there's a secret door. Jordan breaks it open and discovers a hidden basement. She hears a scream behind one of the doors. When she opens it, Riley is inside. Riley tells her that her father didn't lock her up, he locked it inside. Jordan tries to ask what it is, but just then, Randall returns, attacks Jordan, and knocks her unconscious. At the same time, Cynthia tries to call Jordan, but there's no signal. Then Agatha calls Cynthia and informs her that Jordan had come to ask about Riley and got Randall's address. Realizing Jordan hasn't answered her call, Cynthia is sure she went to Randall's house. Without wasting time, Cynthia rushes there. Meanwhile, Jordan is tied to a chair in a dark room. Near her sits a woman in horrible condition, her face badly burned. Jordan is terrified. Randall enters and explains the truth. He says no one can save his daughter. He's tried everything. The ghost haunting Riley needs a living human body to feed on. If it doesn't get one, it will kill Riley. That's why he captured the burned woman. But now that she's weak, Jordan will be the next sacrifice. Randall tells Riley to feed the ghost. When Riley touches Jordan, the ghost moves through Riley and touches Jordan's hand, causing it to burn. After feeding on her, the ghost disappears. Randall then starts cleaning up, trying to hide all traces of Jordan. But then Riley starts talking to Jordan. She quietly asks if Cynthia can really see ghosts. When Jordan says yes, Riley says she will help her escape. But in return, Jordan must help her deal with the ghost. Jordan agrees to help. Riley gives her a blade to cut the ropes and goes to distract her father. Jordan frees herself and tries to help the injured woman nearby, but she's too weak to walk. Jordan promises to return with help and leaves her there. Suddenly, Randall appears with a gun. Riley stands in front of Jordan, arguing with her father to protect her. In the middle of the chaos, the injured woman attacks Randall from behind. During the struggle, the gun accidentally fires and Riley is shot, dying in Jordan's arms. At that moment, there's a shocking twist. The ghost that haunted Riley now enters Jordan. In an instant, Jordan is overwhelmed by horrifying visions and illusions. She panics and runs out of the house. Just then the police arrive, and hearing the commotion, Randall escapes in fear. Cynthia reaches the scene, finds Jordan, and alerts the police. They recover Riley's body and also rescue the injured woman. Later, 2 police officers question Jordan. During the interview, the ghost suddenly appears, terrifying her. Back home, Cynthia argues with Jordan, blaming her for going to Riley's house. She says it's because of that decision that Riley is now dead. Jordan, shaken, reveals that the ghost is now haunting her and begs Cynthia to look inside her mind using her therapy power. But Cynthia refuses. She is afraid and doesn't want to see what's inside Jordan's memories. Agatha urges Cynthia to do the therapy, warning her that Jordan's life may be in danger. Convinced, Cynthia decides to face her fear. Before starting, she explains to Agatha that they'll both be entering a dark world and anything can happen there. If they seem to be suffering, Agatha must hit them hard to wake them up, and Cynthia begins the therapy. Inside the dark world, young Jordan is seen sitting outside a house, too afraid to go, and so Cynthia enters the house alone. The place is old and twisted, filled with creeping roots growing across the walls and floor. Suddenly, the ghost appears and grabs Cynthia's hand, burning her. The burn shows up in the real world, and Cynthia starts screaming in pain. Agatha sees her struggling but can't wake her, until she finally slaps her hard, pulling Cynthia back to reality. Now Cynthia finally believes Jordan. She goes to the hospital and meets Larry, asking for any records about Samantha, Riley's mother. Larry doesn't know much, but he gives her the address of a retired doctor who handled Samantha's case. Cynthia visits the retired doctor and asks about Samantha, Riley's mother. At first, the doctor refuses to share any details, saying he can't reveal patient information. But Cynthia explains that her own daughter is now showing the same symptoms, and it might be the same entity haunting them. Hearing this, the doctor finally opens up. He says Samantha and her family came in, and within just 2 days her hair and teeth started falling out. Then her nails, and by the end of 4 weeks, even her internal organs began to decay. She grew weaker by the day, suffering extreme pain. Before she died, Samantha told the doctor that she kept seeing a ghostly figure. The doctor didn't believe her until she grabbed his hand and said, "It's here right now." In that moment, he felt something pulling him into darkness. He shows Cynthia his hand, which still carries burn scars, proof of what happened. He says that Riley was by Samantha's side till the very end, holding her hand as she died. The doctor explains that Samantha died while Riley was holding her hand, and that's how the ghost passed into Riley. In the same way, when Riley died in Jordan's, the ghost transferred into Jordan. The doctor says he doesn't know how to save Jordan. That night, Jordan sleeps at home and has a terrifying dream. She sees the same attic now covered in black roots. From inside, the ghost speaks, asking Jordan to feed it. When she refuses, the roots lash out and attack her. She wakes up startled and hears a mysterious sound in the house. She follows the sound, unaware the ghost is behind her. As she searches, she suddenly sees a ghostly hand, but before she can react, Randall grabs her from behind. Meanwhile, Cynthia enters the house and finds Agatha unconscious on the floor, and Jordan is gone. Randall, on the other hand, locks Jordan inside a box, planning to bury her alive. He believes that if the ghost is trapped without anyone to feed on, it will starve and die inside her. Jordan wakes up inside the box, begging him to stop, but Randall buries her and leaves. At the same time, Cynthia rushes to the police and files a report of Jordan is missing. Randall is already arrested, but when Cynthia asks the police to let her use her therapy power to find Jordan's location, they refuse. At the same time, the school coach Cynthia had previously reported is also arrested. During interrogation, he confesses he had kidnapped, abused, and killed several children. Now that Cynthia's claims are proven true, the police finally believe in her ability and allow her to perform the therapy. Cynthia begins by asking Randall where Jordan is, but he refuses to tell. So she dives into his mind to search for the truth herself. Inside the therapy, Cynthia sees Randall's family at the hospital, then goes deeper into his memories, witnessing basement scenes, then further seeing the kidnapping and burial of Jordan. She snaps back to the real world, now knowing where Jordan is buried. She rushes to the location. Meanwhile, Jordan is trapped inside the box, panicking. Luckily, she finds a flashlight, and when she turns it on, she realizes the ghost is inside with her and started to feed her. Cynthia and Agatha arrive at the spot and immediately begin digging. When they finally open the box, Cynthia sees the ghost hovering over Jordan, and she's frozen with fear. Jordan is unconscious. Her mind is lost in the dark world. Now Cynthia must enter the dark world one last time to bring her daughter back. While Cynthia prepares for the therapy, Agatha distracts the police, giving her time. Cynthia begins the final dive to save Jordan. Cynthia enters Jordan's mind, where she finds adult Jordan sitting alone outside the house. Since Jordan is unconscious, Cynthia goes in alone. Inside, the house is now even more overrun with black roots growing wildly. She climbs up to the attic, where she hears Jordan calling out for her dad. Cynthia enters and is devastated to see her husband hanging dead. She breaks down in tears. Then deeper in the attic, the ghost appears, demanding again to be fed. But this time Cynthia offers herself instead, saying, "Take me and leave my daughter." The ghost grabs her by the neck, but Cynthia uses her power to begin therapy on the ghost itself, entering its mind. Inside, she finds herself in a hellish cave where the ghost sits like a king on a throne, demanding to be fed. Cynthia prepares to fight, but the ghost is too powerful. Roots rise from the ground, trapping her, and it's moments from killing her. Just then, Jordan wakes up in her mind and sees Cynthia struggling inside the ghost's therapy world. She grabs Cynthia's hand, trying to pull her out, but Cynthia is still locked deep in the ghost's mind. In a dramatic twist, Jordan suddenly appears inside the ghost's mind, revealing that she too has the power just like her mother. Inside the ghost's mind, Cynthia and Jordan fight together, using a spear to strike the ghost repeatedly. After a fierce battle, they finally destroy it, and the ghost is dead. They both return to the real world, where the police rescue them from the buried box. The scene then cuts back to the same old house from Jordan's mind. This time, Cynthia walks Jordan inside, but now the house is clean and renewed with no black roots anywhere. Jordan, who is always afraid of the attic, finally gathers courage and goes up. She finds the image of her father hanging again, but this time, she gently brings him down and cries. As she grieves, her father's body disappears. That moment reveals the truth. Seeing her father's death was a buried trauma in Jordan's mind all these years. But now Cynthia uses her therapy power to lift that guilt and pain from Jordan's memory. With the ghost gone and the trauma healed, both mother and daughter now share the same power, and together they decide to help others heal from their darkness. The movie ends with hope, 2 generations ready to face the horrors of the past and cure others. Do you guys have any guilt weighing you down? Just like Jordan, you can overcome it. Don't let the past trap you. You deserve to live better. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe to Tianshi Recap and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next breakdown. See you in the next one. Bye.